in some respects, it's an abstract. It's abstract at times. Um, and I've, like you brought up Tom's situation that happened to him. I mean, I've had a ton of those kind of things happen to me through coaching, and I had to fine tune things. I mean, trust me, Wally, I made a ton of mistakes and had to learn from them. Most of the time I just drive home after a game or a practice I wasn't happy with and said, gee, did you get the results you wanted to get? And if you didn't, why not? And what do what approach might you want to take to get a better outcome? So I've learned a ton.
Well, Ken, there's one thing I wanted to share with you and see if you would help me out with it. In this Good of the Game project, I created, when I was working with the national men's team and Dave King voluntarily, I was a skills coach. But I played for Father Bauer, and so Dave got me involved with the national team, and he was a full-time coach. And Hockey Canada was under the umbrella or a partner of the Canadian Amateur Hockey Association, running the national team out of the Saddle Dome. And they created the first center of excellence for coach development. And Dave became sort of the professional development guy. He created a goals 1 video and a goals 2 video.
Yeah, I got both of them.
Yeah. And when I was working with him, I was trying to write materials on skill development and some tactical progressions. And Dave's goals 1 was offense and goals 2 was defense. And the Canadian Amateur Hockey Association took those videos, put them right in their certification programs. And we got a call, I think in 1989, from the CAHA higher ups that said we need a goals 3 video on respect in sport because their insurance rates were going up, hitting from behind. And that's the era when the stop signs.
Yep.
And that came on the back of the jersey. So Dave,
we did a video, Wally, with Mike Bossy when they came out.
Yeah.
About that whole thing, and the Arrows was involved. We had 4 or 5 girls that were in the video.
Yeah.
Because Bossy covered both the male and the female side.
Okay.
And did exactly what you're talking about right now. It's all about hitting from behind and respect and things like that. So
when was that?
I'd have to look, Wally, but because I put a lot of my VCR tapes away.
Yeah.
Well,
never mind, Ken. It's just that before that, we were asked to produce a video. I was asked to write the script. So I don't know if you know Dan Morrow, but he was the young fella in charge at the time of the Center of Excellence. He was the guy responsible for coach clinics and bringing people in and gathering information, sorting it out, video work. And I wrote the script, and I got my chapter 1 from him because he was coaching a Pee Wee 1 team with Dr. Bob Corrin, who was the Dean of Phys Ed at the University of Calgary. And they were having such turmoil with parents interfering. And of course, the body checking and that going on was another thing. But the interference of the parents with the coaching created a situation where they created a mission statement exercise. And that's what I did this exercise. It became part 1 of the Goals 3 video. Part 2 was fundamental sports psych, emotional control for players and for coaches. The fundamentals of, the ideal performance state and emotional control and how to do that. Part 3 was playing the danger zone along the boards and being able to take a check and deliver a check. And now it's even easy because stick on puck, the game, I think body checking's gone. You take yourself out of the play. But anyway, we produced that video, and what happened was it never got developed because the CAHA took over Hockey Canada, became Hockey Canada. Dave Ken left, and I wasn't involved anymore. And Dan said, well, it's not really a video. It's a brochure or something, and nothing got done with it. But
Wow.
every year I've ever done coaching clinics, I do the mission statement exercise. And I believe if it was mandated, a part of the first coach clinic and the next level tweaked for level 2, and then for development 1, and then for HP 1, and revisited the problems that they have in the guys' game and the girls' game, as I know because I've worked with some of the leagues and associations where it is just entitlement and overplaying the best players and trying to get a scholarship. It's not about the life skills that you're going to learn by playing as a team. But anyway, that exercise, I don't know if you have time. It takes, I do it in a clinic in 40 minutes. I've done 112 of them during COVID with small groups, individuals, and 2 teams. And if you do the exercise at the beginning of every year and revisit what you came up with, your mission statement, it causes everybody that's participating to think of, well, what are we here for? Like you said, if the people that I'm around are there for the right reason, I'll join them. Well, what I'm trying to do is influence all coaches to know what the right way is.
Yep.
Because the inmates run the asylum on the guy's side. And you might have witnessed it on the female side as well.
It's starting to show up, and a lot of it here in Ontario, anyways, is driven by money.
Yeah.
Um,
By what?
money.
Oh, money and winning. Okay.
Yep. Well, both those, but I just
Do you
it.
do you have a couple blank sheets of paper?
Yeah. Hold on, I got a pad here. Yep.
Now, I'm going to take you through this exercise because the goal is to get them to be like you and to be open to learning. So when coaches come into the clinic and I do this at the very beginning, I say, okay, draw a tree. Now, Ken, draw a tree.
I'm not a very good drawer, Wally, but okay.
But you can imagine 30 coaches looking at me, what's this course conductor doing? Drawing a damn tree,
Yeah.
So everybody draws their own tree.
Okay.
And then when they're done, I say, hold it up and show me your tree.
I don't know if you can see it,
High enough
Wally.
for me to see it. I can't quite see the tree,
Okay.
but I got to be able to see it. Really important. Hold it up, Ken. Right at your eye level. Now, there. Oh, good. Perfect. Excellent. Nice tree. Good. Leave it. That's good. So there are some artists in there who are fancy, but I say, remind me to look at that tree at the end of what I do with you, okay?
Yep.
Now, flip it over the sheet
Okay.
and imagine you're coaching a midget AAA girls team. Write down 3 things you want to accomplish this season. 3 things, not a book, just 3 things.
Okay.
Now, normally I ask people to share it, but I sort of know what you would write because it would be the same as what I would write. We're going to come back to it.
Okay.
Now, I want you to think of a highly motivated parent or a association that's about winning. What would the parent, the I call them wacko parent,
Okay.
driven parent, highly motivated parent? Write down 3 things they would put down. I did this exercise with Lisa.
Okay.
And now I want you to think of a player. Now, think of an average player. Just average player on your team. Think of your Ryerson team if you want.
Okay.
Any player, what do you think they would write down? Could you generalize the 3 things that they might write down?
I mean, yeah, because of the level. So I'm going to respond what a player at Ryerson, like at that level, would say.
Yeah, okay.
So, okay.
So basically, when I do this at the clinic, I'm telling the coaches, you have to do this with your players and your parents together. Now, when you've done it face to face, it's good. And the next time you do it, you might be able to do it online. And with younger kids, the parents can't tell them what to write. They have to listen to what their kids really want to accomplish. Now, I'm going to tell you what kids in Cochrane usually write down. So you can put kids column, a kids column.
Okay.
The majority of those motivated young kids win a banner, a championship, score more goals. Some might write have fun, new friends, improve, development. Now, Ken, if you can take another sheet of blank paper
Yep.
and keep that one there because you're going to be referring to it.
Yep.
I want you to draw a line down the middle from the top to the bottom and across the top about 2 inches down, a line across.
Okay.
On the left-hand side, write values, life skills. But the word values is sort of the key
Yep.
word. Good values.
Yep.
On the right side, write down outcomes.
Okay.
So if you can imagine, all the coaches have done this. They first of all had to write down what they wanted themselves. And I go to the front board and I collate it as they're talking. I on the right side, looking at your list, I want you to separate what's been put down in the 3 columns and abbreviate the words, the key words, put them in the outcome column or put them in the life skills column, the values column.
Okay.
Now I'm going to give you, I did the exercise with Howie Draper,
Yep.
and I want you to put these words in the appropriate column.
Okay.
The exercise originated at the University of Alberta in the Claire Drake days.
Yep.
They had a sports psychologist that created this for them,
Okay.
and they did it. And when I called Howie to do it, I said, Howie, would you be interested in doing it? He says, well, we did it last week as a coaching staff, and we're going to do it again with the players, but we do it every year. So this is pre-COVID. They weren't going to have a season. So they wrote down 3 things. Number 1 was improvement as coaches.
Okay.
So have you got that on there on your column?
Well, I have it for whether it's players or coaches. I have improvement and growth.
Good. Well, that's what they said, but this head coach, that's what they're saying their mission is.
Okay.
That's what they want.
Yep.
Number 2 was improvement as players.
Okay.
Number 3 was one word, community.
I didn't have that, but that's excellent.
So that's what they represent, and that's why they've won 29 national championships, because of this exercise. And we just started it.
I mean, the one phrase I have could interact with community a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I always wanted to strive to create what I called a positive environment, which if you did a good job at that, there's a really good job. That sense of community would start to happen as a result.
Yeah.
So
what did you write down?
there again, positive environment. I think interaction, communication, and honesty is really important. Working as a group, I did have improvement and growth. What else did I have here? I mean, there again, I just believe that when you really enjoy what you're doing, something, you give yourself a really best opportunity to whatever goals you're trying to reach, to possibly reach them. So, I don't know. Like I said, I love the word community. I love sitting down with a group and working on a set of trying to find out what they want, what's the right word? Sometimes I'll ask them, well, what is your definition of success?
Yeah.
And I want to get away from the outcome and more into the other side of the ledger.
Yeah.
And so once I determine what I call process goals,
Yeah.
and enjoyment is a process goal. And
we're going to now continue the exercise because Ken, what you do is you don't need to do the exercise for Ken. I'm doing it with you for Hockey Canada, Hockey Alberta to put it in the darn certification program so coaches can use this to get better at understanding why they coach.
Yep.
Now I want you to draw an arrow in the middle from the right left side of the page to the right.
Okay.
So you're pointing towards the outcome from the values.
Okay.
And above that arrow, write the word process.
Okay.
So how do you accomplish, what have you got on the outcome side? How do you accomplish that? What have you got? What are the words?
Well, I have winning. You asked me, the second one is what is the parent? You called them motivated. I don't know if I call them motivated, but what would they be looking for? They'd be looking for winning. They'd be looking for ice time for their son. And unfortunately, in Ontario, my experiences, they also want input into the running of the team.
Yeah. They want their kid to get a scholarship.
Yep.
That's what kids might write down. And let's be realistic. It's really a realistic goal. It's okay to want to win.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with it. But if you lose track of the process, you don't accomplish the outcome.
Well, you can't even perform at your best if you're worried about outcome.
No, you
have to trust in the process.
Okay.
And that way, when you get into those big moments, you're more likely to perform at the level you want to perform at. I just find when people worry about outcome, they cripple themselves.
Yeah. So Ken, I now give the coaches an assignment, and I want you to draw an X through the outcomes.
Okay.
Over the outcomes.
Okay.
And how you accomplish it is the left side.
Yep.
And here's the assignment, and you can send it to me before our Shark session Thursday.
Okay.
Write a mission statement of no more than 15 words for your team. Your group.
Okay.
And I tell the coaches, you're going to go back, and this is a requirement of the course, and you have to do it with your staff. Come up with a mission statement as a staff. And you do it with your parents and players. And pick 2 or 3 parents that are good writers, like-minded people like yourself, values people, and give them that task to write a mission statement for the team.
Okay.
Now you might want to write this down because this is part of the assignment. And I don't know whether they follow through or not. And then make a business card with your team logo and the mission statement on it. A fridge magnet. Business card size fridge magnet that you produce, your association produces, your team produces, and you put it on the fridge for everybody to look at. Every day they open the fridge, they can read it, think about what they're doing. Oh, and if there's a problem, look at it. If you think there's a problem, something not going right, read it. And if there isn't, if it's violated, it has to be addressed. But most often, it'll keep the wolves off, because the mission statement has perspective and direction for life skills and winning.
That's extremely well put.
So this is a tool to play with. The first year you do it at coach one. They don't even play, they play half ice hockey. So the coach is teaching for his first time. He's learning what it's all about, and they're children. And so they get better at it when they go to coach two. Nothing changes. Yeah, they have a score clock. So this is when it becomes more valuable. And you learn, and the parents grow up learning this is how we do things. This is who we are. This becomes our culture. So when they go to development one and at AAA, AA, high performance one, then it becomes really important that this philosophy permeates the association. But it starts at the bottom with the coaches, and like yourself, the adults who are going to be on the board, the parents who are going to be on the board, and you get coaches to recruit good parents for the board. And this culture grows with the good of the game. So that's the purpose of the exercise, Ken.
Okay.
And now in a coaching clinic, you've probably got to cover different topics. The requirements of Hockey Canada on the long-term development model, how important that is, skill analysis, drill development, running a practice, and all the fundamental things for beginning coaches and even advanced coaches. And at the end of the day, you go to, it might be at the end of the day, it depends on what ice times you get. You go on the ice, and I do specific teaching things that I know are unique to me because I've been brought up that way in the old school model of skill analysis, skill breakdown, skill development. And even at higher levels, I have to do it because there's no breakdown of skills in the coaching manual anymore. They just look for drills and run drills, and the skill development's left up to independent people. So parents put their kids into that program, and not all the kids have the luxury of getting some skill development. And all of it's offensive. So when the day's done, we have to go back to the room and do a closure. So what did I ask you to do? To remind me of?
Yep, you asked me to put a mission statement together with no more than 15 words in it.
Yeah.
You talked about creating a business card / fridge magnet.
Yeah.
So that, essentially, you talked about, and I think this is really important. I think that, when you're selecting players that come into your program, male or female, you're also partially looking, to a great extent, looking at their parents. And if you're trying to create a certain culture, you've got to be careful as to who you introduced into that group. So, because some people will tell you what they want to hear, Wally, and then when rubber hits the road, they revert back to their true self sometimes, which is not necessarily a good true self. So I think that's part of it. I think part of it also, Wally, is year after year, you build, both as a team, as coaches, you build a reputation, and that reputation is really important. And I just think that, I talk a lot with people about what kind of legacy you want to leave, and making sure that the decisions you're making along the way are going to, because at the end of the day, that's what people remember, and what they got out of being involved with, whether it's coaches or whatever else. I mean, that's the important stuff.
Yep. You said it, Ken. But I'm just hold it. Stace, I have to call you back. I'm sorry. Anyway, you're doing a coaching clinic. Like right now, you're working with one small group. Ryerson, you've got these girls. I'm trying to work with all coaches. And the people that have the power to control all coaches is the coach certification program, this course. So the exercise of the course conductor, they have to learn how to deliver this that I'm doing to you.
Yep.
Now, what was the very first thing we did beginning the exercise?
We built, you asked me to draw a tree.
And at the end of it, what should you do? You're supposed to remind me to look at the tree.
Yep.
So hold it up.
I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah. And then look at it yourself.
Yep.
Turn it over. And usually 95% of their own trees, but there's something missing. 95% of them. What's missing in your tree?
Roots.
And that's what this presentation's about. The roots are the values. The roots are how the tree grows and what the organization becomes or the team becomes. And you can put your team logo in the tree. Do you know what I'm saying? The idea of knowing the values, what you're going to, the walk you're going to talk all season as a coach, as a parent, as a player, the life skills you're going to be accountable to, the respect you're going to learn, the teamwork will help you develop and improve. So that's basically what I'm trying to do is get this implemented. We've taken 31 minutes, you and I. And I've done it in 30 minutes. And I put it down as a 45-minute module to allow for some discussion with the groups. But when they come back in, that's what I do. I bring the tree back and I remind them of their assignment and having to do it. And I said, send me your mission statement, Ken. Actually, it's an assignment.
Okay.
Tomorrow, if you can, within 24 hours, I tell the candidates.
Okay.
And in my case, I tell them, and I can't do this legally because Hockey Alberta doesn't approve it. I say you won't get credit for taking the course if you don't do that statement.
Well, Wally, after going upstairs and spending a little bit of time with my wife, I will get down here in the morning, as I usually do, and I will put some thought to it.
Okay, you give her some thought, but I'm glad we got to do this exercise, Ken, and I'm going to look forward to Thursday, and now I'm going to promote the Thursday session with everybody, and you'll get the invite. Like, do you get my weekly emails?
I think I do, Wally, but I'll double check tomorrow morning and let you know.
Double check and have a look at Peter Smith's. It'll give you an idea of where the group comes from.
Yep.
Because of where Peter Smith comes from.
No problem.
That'll help. Okay.
Oh,
Well, look, I
good.
got to run and call my daughter back in Blairmore, Alberta. They moved there, and she's keeping an eye on me from afar. So.
Well, I'm glad that she's keeping an eye on you. So.
Okay. Ken, take care. It's just such a pleasure talking to you. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem, Wally. I enjoy it all the time.
Talk to you Thursday.